I wanted to quickly look up is this one? Alright, my dudes. I wanted to look into Bioshock 4 stuff. I know there's not a whole lot of information, but I heard people talking about them working on a Bioshock 4 potentially. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. See, I really liked Bioshock 1 and 2, and I wasn't a big fan of Infinite. Like, it wasn't a bad game, it just didn't feel like a Bioshock game to me, if that makes sense. Like, I would not say at all that it was a bad game. It was actually a very good game. And it was definitely received very well. A lot of people said Infinite was their favorite for a long time. And I don't blame them. It's a good game. It just, I feel like I really preferred Bioshock 1 and 2. Big news at E3 this year. Yeah, E3, absolutely. That went over great. Yeah, they did. Yeah, E3. Yeah, I just, yeah, it didn't feel like a Bioshock game. Like, it was a good game, though. It's just, the thing is that I binge played Bioshock 1 and 2, the remaster, on my PS4, and then I immediately went into Infinite. And it just, I was just kind of expecting it to feel more like a Bioshock game. Like, I thought it was so cool, you know, oh, it's up in the sky, that's wicked, this is gonna be neat. And while I was playing it, at the same time, I just couldn't wait for it to be done. I don't know. I still thought it was a good game, but this is probably, people are probably not gonna like me for saying this, but it felt like an overly emotional emo teenager wrote the story. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is so deep and so dark, and oh god, you know what I mean? It didn't feel as mature and developed as the first two Bioshocks did. It was very edgy. It was super, super, super edgy. I still liked it, but it didn't have the same grasp on me that the first two Bioshock games had. And you know, when I played Bioshock 1, I was thinking, like, there's no fucking way Bioshock 2 is gonna be as good as this. And, it was very good in a different way. I thought that there were going to be some parts that I was kind of annoyed by, but I legitimately really enjoyed Bioshock 2 from a completely different angle. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm an edgy bitch, but like some things are even too edgy for me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was literally the most edgy emo teenage dweeb you could imagine. Oh my god, if you guys could read some of the stuff I wrote and some of the comics I made when I was a teenager. None of it ever really saw the light of day besides a couple classmates reading it. But oh man, no, I'm an edgy dude, I'm covered in like tattoo monsters and shit. Like Tech Radar, I don't know who you are. No, I don't want to sign up your fucking newsletter. Bioshock 4, everything we know about the new Bioshock. Bioshock 4 is technically still planned for release at some point, despite there having been no updates since its announcement over 2 years ago. This article came out 8 days ago, by the way. Since then, pretty much nothing has been revealed about the next mainline Bioshock title. When it does eventually release, the next mainline Bioshock game is unlikely to be called Bioshock 4. For now, however, what we're calling it, it's what we're calling it until 2K Games reveals the real title. It's not just the title we're waiting for as well. No release window or info on a setting have been announced at the time of writing. While we wait for more info on Bioshock 4, here's everything that's been revealed about the game so far. As new details come to light, you'll find them right here on this page. How convenient! We can come back and look at all their ads again. Bioshock 4, cut to the chase. What is it? The 4th entry in the 2K Games retrofuturistic game series. When can I play it? TBC. What can I play it on? TBC. PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and PC are likely. While we're currently excited for the next Bioshock game, we don't actually know when we'll get our hands on it. In a tweet officially announced by the new Bioshock game back in 2019, publisher 2K Games stated that work had begun on the next iteration of the Bioshock franchise. Here, it confirmed that the game would be in development for the next several years. That may not have been the most welcome news, but it did give us an idea of what platforms Bioshock 4 would eventually release on. With the PS5 and Xbox Series X now available, we'll almost certainly be seeing a new Bioshock releasing on these platforms, and probably on PC too. Whether the title arrives in the latest gen consoles like Xbox One and PS4 is less certain. It depends on when the sequel releases. It's definitely not going to be on PS4. It's going to be a few years. Ghost of Tsushima narrative lead joins Bioshock 4. Far Cry 4 and Ghost of Tsushima narrative lead Liz Abel, or Albel? Oh, that's a neat name. Announced on Twitter, opens a new tab, that she would be making the jump to 2K Games' Cloud Chamber Studio as a part of the Bioshock 4 story crew. This is the latest we've heard in terms of the game's development process. More job listings suggest that the next Bioshock will be open world. Hell yeah. In a piece of juicy gossip supplied by a new round of job listings, it appears the Cloud Chamber will be taking Bioshock in a different direction this time out, with the developer actively searching for someone who can weave impactful character-driven stories in an open-world setting. Another job listing also points to the upcoming Bioshock implementing an urban crowd system with a systemic tribal ecology backed by a sometimes hostile AI. It is said the person who ultimately gets the job will need to push the envelope of what's possible with interactive crowd systems. Oh. Bioshock Revisited. Unpicking the complex, messy legacy of 2K's Knockout franchise. So, that actually gives us a lot of information. So they're going to be trying something kind of new with the open world, which, you know what, See, here's the thing. With the history of me playing games that get sequels that are different from its predecessors, I think that if you go from a linear game style story, like in previous games, to an open world, I feel like that is more widely accepted than open world games being, like, having linear stories told in other games. You know what I mean? Like with Fable 3. Fable 1 and Fable 2 were so fucking good, and they were pretty gosh darn close to open world. Like, they weren't like a true open world in a lot of the senses, like Breath of the Wild is a true open world, you know. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an open world. You can go everywhere pretty much immediately. But, like, you know, you unlock an area, but you can go back, you can go all around and stuff. That was fine, but then when Fable 3 turned into like a very linear game, like, that pissed me the fuck off. It was a bad game. But I think that a linear game, like Bioshock, becoming an open world game, I think is a lot more acceptable, at least for me. Maybe other people's opinions would be different, but I'm really excited about this. I hope that they do manage to be able to do what they want to do, but for me, honestly, so long as the game is good, that's all that really matters. I mean, think of it this way. Avatar came out in 2009, And if they had released the sequel as planned in like the early to mid 2010s, it would not have been as good if they didn't wait until they developed the technology for it. But I also don't blame these companies for releasing a game not exactly how they wanted it to be, kind of like Cyberpunk. But that's I'll get more into that in a second. But Cyberpunk did promise an awful lot of stuff that they didn't, you know, deliver on. Same with Spore. But personally, I think so long as it is still a good game, it's okay for them to not meet all of the promises. However, Cyberpunk should have taken another year, just so their game wasn't broken. But, alas. So long as it's a good game, if they can't accomplish everything that they set out to do, I think that's fine. And, you know, I think that's reasonable, because if you just can't do it yet, you just can't do it yet. And when did Infinite come out? 2013. 10 years ago. It came out 10 years ago. Holy moly. Whoa, okay. Forgot how old these games were. Money and deadlines force it. Yeah, I know, right? Ever read the Wool series of books by... No. About people living in underground silos after apocalypse, albeit Fallout. Maybe Bioshock could do something like that, each silo being distinct. That would be so fucking cool. Feels like 3 years ago. Yeah, well, I played it like 3 or 4 years ago. Probably, maybe even 2019 I played. I don't know. I don't remember when I binge played it. I got it for PS4. But yeah, I think they could do a lot of cool things with the game, and I honestly, I would like to revisit the Bioshock games at some point, and also give Bioshock Infinite another chance. Just maybe not play it right after I play Bioshock 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, no. COVID like destroyed my memory for sure. Just these last few years, it has happened so fast, and I don't know if it's because like the older you get, the faster time feels. But man, it feels like only yesterday was last Tuesday and we were talking about shit here. You know what I mean? Yeah, Crunch Super... Well, I feel like it's become so expensive to make so many of these games, and they require so many people, and because everybody wants to push the envelope. Everybody wants to release a you know, like a generation-breaking game that captivates the audience, and it's very difficult to do that, especially with all the requirements, and like you gotta compete with other companies that are working with their own technology to make their game different and more advanced. It's really difficult because a lot of these corporations also just care about money. And when developers are like, oh, we need a little bit more time to work on this, they're like, no, you gotta have it done by next week. You know, like it's having people who don't understand game development that just want to see profits, running people that want to see a game do well and be a good game, but they don't have control over it. Which is another reason why I decided not to go through with being an animator. You know, I got accepted to the animation program, and then I just decided, you know what? I don't want to spend the rest of my life slaving away on someone else's dream. You know, like I won't have control, and it'll just be a fuck ton of hours for not enough pay, and so I just decided against it. Yeah, the animation industry is a whole other can of worms. But, you know, I don't know. Because, like, I like 2D animation, and I was working on 2D animations at the time. None of which anybody have ever actually seen, and I don't have them anymore. There's a lot of stuff I've done in my life that nobody's ever seen. I'm realizing this now, the more I talk. Like, I wrote a 400,000 word Neopets fanfiction, and no one read it but me. And then my laptop died, and I didn't even think to get it brought in to get my stuff saved, potentially. Like, oh, shit, man. My resume is all in my head. It's all up here. Nobody will ever know. Oh my god. But yeah, as for Bioshock 4, just even knowing that it's open world is a massive thing. And hold on, actually, let's get back to this page real quick for a second. So, I heard Ghost of Tsushima was a good game, right? And in Far Cry 4, or a lot of people were saying had like a really good story. So, if the narrative lead is going to 2K to work on Bioshock 4, I feel like that's probably a good thing. Game's getting bigger and bigger, and speaking. Oh, and so many games are really long too. Like there are so many games like where you could easily put in like a couple hundred hours and you still won't find everything. Like Elden Ring, there are no people that have like, oh, I've put 800 hours into it and I'm still finding new stuff. It's like, excuse me? That's crazy. What? You know? Oh, I don't have time for all that because the vast majority of my game playing I just do here on stream, right? It's crazy. I mean, it's cool, especially if you're someone that can only afford to buy like 1 or 2 games a year. Having a game where like you spend 80 to 100 bucks on it, let's say. That's like high up there for sure for a game, but like also kind of the norm. At least here in Canada, because of our currency, it's worth different than the US dollar. If you can get hundreds of hours of gameplay out of a game, I would say that's well worth it. So having a few games you're really excited for that are huge each year, it's a good thing. I think it's great. But then there's people like me that just want to play every single fucking game that comes out. It's a problem because I don't have all that much time. Yeah, no, RimWorld is 100% one of those games where you could just play thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of it. Like, I've got like, what, 800 hours or something in it? And like, I could go back and play it again and again. And with all the crazy DLCs coming out for RimWorld, holy shit, that just brings on a whole other level. Like 9,000 hours, I'm not even remotely shocked about that. Oh yeah, and you know, I feel like the best bang for your buck MMO is probably like Guild Wars 2, because there's no monthly like paying for it, you know? Like you buy a DLC or like an expansion or whatever, and then there you go, boom. You could literally go to the Guild Wars website right now and just download it for free and play the MMO. You could just play it. You get so many hours of gameplay for free, completely for free. Yeah, not a sponsor. I just love Guild Wars. I love it so much. But yeah, man, video games are in the era that's equivalent to like the 40s, those 60s in film. Yeah, successive indies are my hope that we're entering the. Yeah, I love indie games. Recently, I've been playing several indie games, and I've really loved them. Like I played Gree, I played Spirit of the North. There's a few others I want to play as well on the list. It's just right now. Last week I was kind of not feeling very good. I don't feel very good this week too, so I'm just sort of working on Endless Space 2. I'm waiting for Tears of the Kingdom to come out so that I can like binge play the fuck out of that. I might try and add Thursday streams as well. I might try and add Thursday streams as well for like just a gaming stream. I'm just not 100% sure yet. Aw, shit. Limit. Please call my office. Sorry, man. Phone's broken. You're gonna have to send a carrier pigeon. Totally got me in a RimWorld. I've had entire days off. Yeah, when I first started playing RimWorld, back when it was in like early access, I would very easily just sit down and put 16 hours into the game. Like 12 hours it would go by, and like me and Gigi would be like, he'd be sitting beside me while I played, and we'd like kind of make decisions together and stuff. 12 hours would go by, I'd be like, oh yeah, we should probably like eat. Like, you know those stories where like people like die playing World of Warcraft because they just forget to eat and drink? I mean, like, I would always have a glass of water there because I'm a thirsty bitch, but Holy fuck, man. It's crazy. Speaking of which, thank you, stay healthy. But still, man, crazy. Oh man, Dwarf Fortress, I really want to like it. And I'm gonna have to try playing it again, but being so used to playing RimWorld and then trying to play Dwarf Fortress, the limited amount of control that you have in Dwarf Fortress was kind of off-putting to me. Like, the game seems great. It just also is kind of annoying to keep up with all the new dwarves that like come into your colony, and it's really hard to keep track of everything that's going on with everybody and getting people to actually do their jobs and stuff. Like, I probably just need to get good. I just need to get better at knowing what the hell is going on, but I've only put a few hours into it. So, like, I need to learn more about it. It's easy if you kill them all. Yeah, for real, but I don't want to kill them all. And then remember when that creature got into our base and then we had to, like, kill it? Oh my god. We did it, though. I did it. I had to, like... I had to, like, get help. Like, what do I do? I paused the game and I'm like, what do I do? How do I kill it? Oh my god. I spent about an hour and a half cycling through the characters to get aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, I don't know. I'll sort it out at some point, I guess. Make a squad in charge. Yeah, yeah, pretty much.